All right, so new unit. So in the last unit, we practiced our factoring, and now what we need to do is we need to learn how to use that skill in order to solve quadratic equations. So we had expressions before, and now we're going to be actually solving equations. Now remember, solving equation means that we are trying to find the values for x that make the equation true. All right, so for example, if you just look down here, here's an equation, and we want to try to find the values of x that make this equation true. So here's how we're going to do this. There's going to be 4 steps. Step number 1 is we are going to get the equation into standard form. Standard form, as you may or may not remember, is ax squared plus bx plus c, and now we want that equal to 0. So whenever we solve quadratic equations, we always want them to be equal to 0 before we start. Step 2, we're going to factor. Step 3, we are going to apply the zero product property, and I'm going to explain to you what that is. And then step 4 is to solve. All right, so let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to leave the steps there so we can see them. All right, so let's take a look at this first one. Solve by factoring. X squared plus 2x equals 3. The first thing is we want that into standard form. So in this case, we're not equal to 0, which means I need to subtract 3 from both sides in order to get it equal to 0. So what do I have then? I have x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, now we want to factor this side. Well, you learned how to factor in the last unit. We're going to check for a GCF. This doesn't have a GCF. This is an easy trinomial. So I'm just going to factor it just like you did in the last unit. Keep that equals 0 on the end. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to -3 and add to 2. If it was a difference of two perfect squares, you would apply that method of factoring. If it was an advanced trinomial, you would apply that method of factoring. It's whatever method of factoring is required, that's what you do. So in this case, this is an easy trinomial. So this is going to be x plus 3 and x minus 1 because +3 and -1 multiply to -3 and add to 2. Okay, so that's step 2 done. Step 3. Apply the zero product property. The zero product property says, hey, if you have two numbers, and they don't have to be numbers, they could be polynomial expressions, they could be anything. If you have two things being multiplied together to give you 0, one of them has to be 0. So the zero product property says if A times B equals 0, then either A is 0 or B is 0. Has to be. There's no other way around this. So what does that mean for my polynomial? Well, here I have two things being multiplied together. X plus 3 is one of the things. X minus 1 is the other thing. And I'm multiplying them together and I'm getting 0. So that must mean X plus 3 is equal to 0 or X minus 1 is equal to 0. So what am I going to do? I don't know which one is equal to 0, so I'm just going to write it down as if both of them were. And now there's your zero product property. That's step 3. Step 4 is to solve. So what I mean is now you have two little mini equations like you used to do back in 6th and 7th grade. All you need to do is solve them, which means get x by itself. Subtract 3 from both sides, subtract 1 from both sides, and what do I get? I get x equals -3, x equals +1, and those are your two answers. Two answers? How could there be two answers? Well, one thing we need to know is that quadratic expressions quadratic equations, meaning they have an x squared in them. You need to know this. They have two solutions, so let's write that down. Quadratic equations meaning they contain an x squared term, have two solutions. Okay, you definitely need to know that. Okay, so all we have left is now a word problem. Let's apply this in word problem form. All right, the width of a rectangle is 3 less than its length. If its area is 28 square inches, what are the dimensions of the rectangle? So first of all, dimensions. Dimensions means length and width. So I'm going to start this problem by right over here, I'm going to write length equals width equals. Okay, I'm going to write that over there because that will remind me I have to list both of those. All right, so let's draw a picture of this. It says we have a rectangle. It says its area is 28 square inches. So I'm going to put that in the middle, 28. And it says that its width is 3 inches less than its length. Now, I don't know its length or its width, but here's what I know. I know that if the width is 3 less than the length, I can call the length x. And if the width is 3 less than that, then I can call the width x minus 3. Now let's write an equation. How do you find the area of a rectangle? Length times width. So length is x, width is x minus 3, area is 28. Length times width equals area. Okay, so now it's a quadratic equation and I just need to solve it. Step 1, get it in standard form. I'm going to distribute x squared minus 3x, and I'm going to subtract 28 from both sides. That equals 0. Step 2, factor. This is an easy trinomial again. Two numbers that multiply to negative 28 and add to negative 3. Negative 7, positive 4. Zero product property. X minus 7 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. And solve. On the left-hand side, I'm going to add 7 to both sides, so I get x equals 7. And for the right-hand equation, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. X equals negative 4. Okay, so which of these is the length? Well, here's the thing. This solution, negative 4, you can't have a length of negative 4. We call that an extraneous root. Extraneous means extra. We don't need it. You can't have a negative length. So that means our length is 7. So our length is 7. Our width is 3 less than our length. So that must mean our width is 4. And you can do a quick check in your mind. If I gave you a rectangle whose length was 7 and whose width was 4, you would definitely tell me that it has an area of 28. So it looks like we did this one correctly. So now you've got some practice problems to try and then a checkpoint to submit.